Um, if there's anybody you want me to interview coming up, oh, wait a minute, Dana White, here we go. All right, brother, I'm waiting on you now. So let's see, Dana White requested to be in my video. There he is. What's up, brother?
How are you?
Well, I was just talking about you. Everybody's asking if Tony and Habib is going to happen. I said it's going to be the challenge of Dana White's career. What's happening?
How many times do I got to say this is happening?
Am I the wimpiest guy on the earth, by the way? Come on, tell me I'm not that wimpy. There's wimpier people than me, aren't there?
I was talking about all the other guys, not you.
Yeah, I knew that. So
Khabib Tony is on April 18th. It's happening.
April 18th is happening. Where are we going to go? Is it going to be in Abu Dhabi? Is it going to be in Russia? Do you know yet?
I do, but I'm not ready to tell you yet.
You are a big teaser.
I know lots of things.
Logistically, that's got to be a nightmare. I mean, what are the biggest issues now you face? Because not only is it tough moving a fight on short notice from where it was going to be, but now you have this global pandemic that's creating havoc with travel and everything. How do you overcome all that? Are people going to fly private?
Yeah, those are all the things that we're still working on. Obviously, you know, every time we put on an event every weekend, there's all kinds of problems. Lots of things happen. Logistically and as far as, you know, tons of different things happen. We figure it out. That's what we do. That's the business that we're in. And we've been doing it for 20 years. We're the best at it. And we will get this thing worked out. This fight will happen on that date, on pay-per-view, on ESPN Plus, and the whole world will get the.
Dana, you know, when I was on vacation, my non-Hawaii vacation, as I'm calling it, the last couple of weeks. So you and I chatted via text a couple of times, and I had asked you about the ratings of your show from Brasilia, and I actually thought it was really interesting. I saw that they did like 671 on ESPN, but you had mentioned that they had done pretty well on ESPN Plus as well. Can you explain that and were you encouraged by the number you got that day, given the two platforms?
Well, a lot of people don't have cable TV anymore. A lot of people are just streaming. So you have people streaming and people that have regular cable or direct TV or whatever it is. So you're going to get two different numbers. And then when you asked me the day before that fight what I thought the rating would be. Right. And I said, I don't know what to think anymore. I said, 10 days ago, I could have told you, I could have answered any question you had. You know, the world is such a different place than it was 10 days ago. So I don't know.
Interesting. Dana, one of the questions just before you came on, you might have heard this. So I was talking about it right at the end. Somebody asked me two questions. They said that I think you were the best promoter of all time. And then they said, are you going to get into boxing? And so I was saying that I thought this coronavirus pandemic might have put your boxing plans on hold. But can you clarify that? Can you tell us where you stand with boxing?
Yeah, well, I'm trying to get UFC going right now. The boxing is we definitely want to get involved in boxing. I mean, everybody knows that. I've talked to you many times about it. But right now, I'm literally focused on UFC. And, you know, Habib and Tony is literally the only thing that I am focused on right now as far as fighting.
And you know, here's a question, you know, where you have governors saying, you know, let me ask you about that. I want to get you to answer this for the people to hear this. You know, governors are telling people stay in your homes, don't go out of your homes, you know, don't all this, you know, social distancing and everything. Why is it so important to put the fights on instead of, you're not canceling the fight, you're postponing the fight. So why not wait until, you know, the pandemic is over?
I'm in my house now. I've been in my house for a week. We've been in my house for a week now. I've been in my house since last Sunday, and, you know, we followed everything government and that, you know, our governor here in the state of Nevada has told us to do. We followed all the rules. We've done everything that we were supposed to do. And, you know, I'm just one of these believers that at some point, you know, at the end of this week, I'll have been in my house for 2 weeks. And many other people will now. You see states, our governor did a great job. Our governor,
Steve Sisolak.
Huh?
No, I was just telling his name for people who didn't know. Steve Sisolak.
Yeah, to pull the plug in Las Vegas the way that he did and shut down all the casinos and everything, he acted fast. He was one of the first ones to do it, and he's done a great job. A lot of places aren't shutting down till today, tomorrow, and things like that. But after you've been in your house for 2 weeks, it gets to the point where it's like, well, how long are we going to stay in our houses? Are we going to stay in our houses for months? I mean, you know, so I'm trying to figure out how this fight can happen, how to find solutions to these problems, and how to get progress moving forward. I'm not going to stay in my house forever. You know what I mean? I'm not going to stay forever.
And I get that, but I mean, you know, when we're in a situation where it's a public health emergency, this is different than, you know, it's snowing outside, and you know.
I've had a pretty good run. Okay, if the coronavirus is what's going to take me out, then so be it. Listen, there's one thing that is guaranteed: we are all going to die. That's guaranteed. How, we don't know, but you know, there's tons of people dying of heart disease, car accidents, the flu, and all these other things. If this is what's going to get me, it's going to get me. What am I going to do?
But I mean, I guess what I would be concerned about, and I guess what the average person who is questioning your decision, like, I have no doubt that you can pull it off. So, you know, and I think most people who know you as well as I do know that you can get this thing done, even with the logistics. But that, you know, just it's a global health situation. So other people are going to get sick, not just you. If it was just your health, okay. But it's other people's health that might be at risk. And how do you handle that? And how do you make your decision knowing that, you know, what you decide may have an adverse effect on someone else's health?
How would I decide? Everybody who's going to be involved in this thing is going to be involved because they want to be, not because they have to be or they have to do anything. There's not going to be any fans there. This thing will be a closed event. And believe me, we didn't just start thinking about safety when the coronavirus popped up, okay? Health and safety is something, you know, these are things that normal businesses that are out there right now don't necessarily have to think of on a daily basis.
Right.
Health and safety is something we've been doing long before the coronavirus, and we'll be doing it long after the coronavirus is gone. This is just normal shit for us.
I got a couple questions. Would you answer a few questions from people?
Sure.
All right. So let's see. We got, I got a lot of questions in Russian, Dana. So we got a little crazy. One person, Lil Hawk, wants to know, what is the best gym, MMA gym?
The best MMA gym?
Yeah, in your opinion, what's the best MMA gym?
There's MMA gyms all over the world. To say which one is the best, I don't know. I mean, you know, that's depends on what you need, who you fit with, what type of training partners they have. I mean, there are a lot of great gyms. 25 years ago, 20 years ago, there weren't many. Now there's tons of great gyms out there. For me to pick one that's the best, that's tough to do.
Another question was, is Woodley and Edwards going to be rescheduled?
Yes, all these fights are being rescheduled. Once we get this Khabib fight on, we're rolling, man. We're back in business and we're rolling. And like I told you earlier, everybody that's going to fight is going to fight because they want to, not because they have to.
Does that apply to your staff? Like, in other words, if people on your staff say, hey, I'm concerned, or I have an elderly person in my house, you know, do they have to do that?
Yeah, they can do whatever they want to do. My staff are a bunch of savages, man. Let me tell you what. I got my whole crew together on I think it was a Wednesday or a Thursday, and I said, listen, this thing is escalating, and it was a week and a half ago. Anybody who doesn't feel safe, you guys can go home. You can work from home, you know, all that stuff. And nobody walked out. 300, nobody went home. My crew's a bunch of savages. It changed once they shut down the schools.
Right.
Once they shut down the schools, then a lot of my people don't have child care and things like that, so they had to be home for their kids.
The Ali Abdelaziz just put in a question. He said, send location. What can you tell him?
It's coming soon.
I have a feeling he knows the location, though.
He doesn't know. I haven't told anybody. He doesn't know either.
Oh, how about that? Couple other things. You know, what was your take on the Wilder Fury fight? I know when I said I thought it was going to do over 1 million, you scoffed at me and said no way it was going to do 1 million. That fight, I don't see how a boxing match could be better promoted than that fight was. I mean, it was everywhere. ESPN and Fox did a phenomenal job, and it did 750, 800,000. Why do you think that failed when it was a good fight? They were coming off a good first fight. Why do you think it didn't do as well?
I don't know. I wouldn't say that it failed. I mean, I'm hearing the thing that 750,000 pay-per-view buys. That's a big number. That's a massive number. It's hard to do over 1 million buys. It's only been done a few times. And, to say that fight was a failure is crazy. If you look at the first one, you know what I mean? There wasn't a lot of interest in the first one. And the first one did decent. It did respectable numbers, but it was a great fight. And I think people wanted to see it. And, it's tough to do over 1 million. It's hard to fight.
You've done a lot over 1 million in recent years. Like you've had a couple come over 1 million just in the last year or so, haven't you?
Yeah. But it's hard to do. It's tough. We're different. We have a brand. I don't know. It's just, it's not easy to do over 1 million buys.
A lot of people I see a lot of questions going up about Conor McGregor. Is he going to fight Justin Gaethje? Is that something, or are you just going to hold him out and let him fight the winner of Tony and Khabib?
Yeah, I got this Tony Khabib fight done first, and then we'll figure out what's next. And after April 18th, we'll find out where the world is and what's going on.
A lot of people are asking, are you going to drop the price of the pay-per-view during the pandemic? So are people going to pay less for the pay-per-view during this pandemic?
Tell you what, let me tell you how much money it's going to cost me to pull this thing off. Yeah, no, we won't be dropping the price.
I mean, hey, you just lost a $1.7 million gate, right? I think you would have had close to a $2 million gate in Columbus. Isn't that correct?
Yeah, we lost 3 gates. Now this fight, the most anticipated fight in a long time is no gate either. It's all it's gonna be closed to the public.
And when you talk about rescheduling, so I know you got a lot of things to reconsider. Are you going to try to keep the same cards relatively together, or will you start stacking different cards up in different ways, given the time frame and what fighters are feeling like at the point you're ready to reschedule? I lost you. I'm losing you, bro. I don't know if I can hear you. Can anybody else hear Dana? So I am going to end this because I don't think anybody can hear you, Dana. So all of a sudden we lost you. I'll try one more second. I guess we're done. Let's end it. I think we're done. Dana, thank you. See you guys. All right. Well, I'm sorry about that. I think we lost it. So I will let y'all roll. Look at that. I didn't even expect Dana to show up, but you never know what will happen. Talk to you guys later.